Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. Our last Premier League one for today. It's finished Newcastle 0, Liverpool 2. And I said it on Monday. I said Liverpool are back in the top four race. That they were never out of it for me. But if anybody thought they were out, they were back in it. They're still in the hunt. I tell you what, if this win and this result does not convince people that Liverpool is in the top four race, I don't think what will. They've just beaten a fellow top four rival. And it wasn't a good game from Liverpool. I'm not going to sit here and say they had a good performance. It wasn't a good performance, but they got the job done. At this stage of the season, you got to get the job done, and in doing that, they've now got 3 more points, and they move even more closer to Newcastle. Don't forget, Brighton have lost as well today. Chelsea have lost as well today, so that just gives Liverpool that extra incentive to get even more closer to the top four as well. So right, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what Liverpool will have to do. They'll just have to keep winning and then hope that the teams around them drop points, which they will, and then see where they are at the end of the season. But by no means is it over. I think Newcastle came in with a game plan, and there are positives for Newcastle. I'll talk about that in a second as well later on in the video. But I thought Newcastle came with a game plan. The game plan was simple, was just basic pressure Liverpool hype the pitch, maybe force them to make some errors, or let them play long balls and give the ball back to Newcastle. That was the idea. And it worked in the sense that that's what Liverpool did. They got pressure. They put the long ball. The problem was the long ball fell to Nunez. They played a very good long ball to Nunez for that first goal. And there was a sort of handball. It wasn't handball. I mean, from where I could tell, it wasn't handball. It's a good finish from Nunez, but you expect him on one. You expect him to finish. He's had a resurgence, by the way. It gone under the radar a little bit, but he's had a resurgence this in the last couple of games, as has Cody Gakpo, a player more line. Now he's got 2 goals in 2 games, by the way. Another class player who is getting a lot of stick, but he's showing his worth now as well. Got the second goal in the 17th minute. Again, probably a question of offside. He wasn't offside. He makes it 2-0, and you feel that first 17 minutes, you think things are going bad because Newcastle were actually the better team. They're playing very well. The problem was they were getting burned by Liverpool on the counters, and that's what was happening. And they just conceded 2 goals. You still felt, though, that the way Newcastle were playing, they could get back in the game. They never looked like they were out of the game. The issue then was that how do you get back in it? Again, they had a free kick. They play the ball. Alisson grabs it. Again, it's another counter. This time, Nick Pope gets sent off. 22 minutes in. A red card for him. It's unfortunate because he's going to miss the Carabao Cup final. And the Dubravka can't play in the Carabao Cup final because he's cup tied. So we'll see who starts for Newcastle. But that's such a hammer blow for Newcastle, not just for the final, but also for this game, because I think once they went down to 10 men, the game completely got killed off. I don't think they had the ability after that to kind of make it back and get back into things. So it was a bit disappointing that at that point the game kind of seeded as a contest. But the good thing from Newcastle's point of view is many teams often crumble. Right? When you go 2-0 down, you're a man down, you kind of start feeling sorry for yourself. You kind of start losing hope. They didn't. They kept fighting. And they kept fighting and they kept fighting and they created a lot of good chances. There was a chance for Almiron, which he could have taken. The chance for Saint-Maximin, which he could have taken. There was one for Wilson, which he probably should have scored as well. So there were opportunities, even down to 10 men. They were creating opportunities to win the game, and that is something that Liverpool have got to be careful about, because Real Madrid are not going to be that forgiving. Liverpool have got their own big game to worry about. Real Madrid, the Champions League, and that's an important game for them, which they'll want to win and go through. So I think that's the defense is still an issue for Liverpool. But I thought offensively they look good today. Again, this is the old Liverpool, the Liverpool that can play possession football, can also play on the counter. That's really Liverpool. I think for a time they've forgotten how to do that, but now I think with the addition of Bajcetic, it has allowed the midfield to feel a bit more refreshed. It's given them some more legs in the midfield, and because of that, you're starting to see the old Liverpool. We're also seeing Gakpo settling into his role. We're seeing Nunez settling into his role. Jota and Fabinho are back from injury as well. Soon they'll have Luis Diaz back as well. So Liverpool, I feel, are set for a strong run in the second half of the season. They are. The question is whether it will be enough to take them into the top 4. I don't know. Will it be enough for them to win the Champions League? I don't know. But what I do know is that whatever we have seen up to now, I think we might very well see a very different Liverpool going forward from now until the end of the season to what we have seen up till now. So but at the end of the day, like I said, it wasn't a great performance from Liverpool, but they got the job done. I thought Newcastle will get out a lot of positives, and the fight that they showed is absolutely a positive. They didn't concede any goals after going down to 10 men. I thought struggling to. There were chances for Liverpool as well at the end. There were chances where they were, maybe it was just decision making, better decision making, where they could have, played a proper pass, maybe taken a pass into a shot, maybe gone for a different type of pass across. Whatever, there were moments. They had their moments, Liverpool, and they were too wasteful, which is of course something of an issue for them. But from Newcastle, you see that fight, right? You see that, and I do feel that if anybody's thinking that Carabao Cup final is going to be easy, just because some people might see that score and think, oh, Newcastle lost 2-0 at home, they were down to 10 men. It seems like it's a routine win for Liverpool. They're going to fall away. That's not going to happen. They're going to fight, and they're going to fight hard for that Carabao Cup, trophy, and so there can't be any complacency for that game, no matter who plays in that final. They're going to fight, and I think that's the important thing to keep in mind. And they will be fresh as well. There's a couple of maybe knocks here and there, but I'm sure people will be fresh and fit for that game. But that's for later time. I think the top four fight though. That is going to be a 10 because Newcastle have drawn those 3 games. I think they've only won 1 of the last 6 games. Now they've gone 1 out of 7 and lost the game to Liverpool as well. And that is going to give them a little bit of it's going to give them jitters. I don't know, a little bit. It's going to give them a lot of jitters because suddenly the gap between them and the rest of the teams, the gap between them and the rest of the teams is kind of shrinking. Game by game, it's shrinking, and they don't want that. So Howe is going to have to make sure that that he arrests the slide as quickly as possible once the league resumes. I mean, for now, they've got to focus on the cup and think about that. But after that, I think they've got to kind of focus now on the league and figure out how they're going to stop this slide. Because I do feel the issue is the fact that they're very hard to score against, but they do find it difficult to get goals as well. And we saw that today as well. There are chances which they could have taken, which they didn't. And that can come back to cost you, that can come back to bite you in big games. So even as because there's always going to be moments where you concede goals. Like Liverpool today, the 2 goals that they scored were very, very preventable chances, but there were also chances that teams will create, like playing on the counter, getting those opportunities 1-on-1. Those are goals that will happen, and they will happen all the time. So you need a good strike force that can overcome that one error, that one mistake. By scoring 2-3 goals in a game. They need that as well. They can't always keep hoping to win 1-0 or 2-0. That doesn't happen. But anyway, let's see where that goes. Fantastic win for Liverpool. Congratulations to all Liverpool fans, of course, for the win. And I had a few things for Klopp to work on the performance, as I said, yeah. But it was good to see him. And Van Dijk had an okay performance when he came back in the side. He's been out of the side for a while, so it was good to see him. I do feel Joe Gomez is now the centerpiece of that central defense, as I said before. I think he's going to be the guy that they're going to rely on a lot in this season and next season. I feel like that I think Klopp has basically said, you're the guy that I'm going to put there as the constant, and everybody else is going to play around you. So you've got to prove to me that you're good enough to do that. I think that's the message that's been sent out. Trent Alexander-Arnold looked good as well for the cameo they played. I mean, whenever considering how bad he was, the fact that he's not having those errors or those brain parts, I think that is a step up in itself. But he's slowly getting back to his form as well, I feel. So there's lots of positive for Liverpool, and we'll wait and see what happens in the next game, because we could be set for a really exciting second half of the season in terms of the top 4 race, because you've got Manchester United, you've got Newcastle, you've got Liverpool, you've got Spurs, Brighton and Fulham as well, probably in there as well. I think Chelsea probably are now out of it. I would say that they're probably out of it after what happened today. But we still got 6 teams that they're fighting, so it's going to be interesting for just 2 spots in the Champions League. So we'll see what happens there. You could say Fulham and Brighton maybe won't make the Champions League, but they could still in the European spots. So we got 4 spots in Europe technically, or 5, but then we got 6 or 7 teams fighting for those. So it'll be interesting to see who makes it there. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game. Of course, do share your comments. Always love to read them. Smash a like if you enjoyed this video, of course, and do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We love having your support, and we want to continue doing these videos. So please do subscribe so you can support us. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.